Hi guys, VST here, OnePlus Tech. Yes, yet another video about these nice phones, the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro. Alright, and I know, yes, you know that I'm a huge fan of the OnePlus 8 phone, but you know what? I was always asking myself, am I missing a lot not having the OnePlus 8 Pro? Because you know, my honest opinion, if you just take these two phones, right, you just say they're pretty much about the same phones. Of course, this one here is a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier, and on the inside it's almost the same. Yes, of course, here we have IP68, we have a different camera, right? We have also wireless charging. Well, PewDiePie, I'm not sure what is here. But you know, it is not such a huge gap compared to what we have in the OnePlus 7 series, like 7T versus the 7 Pro, which was really like, it was standing out. You know, the 7 Pro was standing out, and I would say even right now until today, 2020, it does still stand out. It's a flawless phone. But if you take these two phones, guys, you just say, okay, they look about the same, and of course here we have the full package. But you know, I called the OnePlus 8 the little Pro this year, and I think that I was pretty much close, because you get almost the full package here. We have the 90 Hz, which is very fluid, which we have here as well. You have the FHD Plus, you have the same Snapdragon 865 which you have here, and you have the Sony IMX586 which you also had in the 7 Pro, and it's a very capable sensor. And of course you don't have some things which you're missing out, like the IP68, the wireless charging, the reverse wireless charging, and then of course, you know, the camera sensor, Sony IMX686, which is of course a new camera sensor. Also, you know, a telecamera which you have here. Here, you know, you just have a regular camera, then you have the ultra wide, and then you have a pretty much useless macro camera. But on the OnePlus 8 Pro, you got a proper telephoto, I think 3x, 3 optical, and then you have also, you know, a fourth camera, which is this so-called funny photo filter, you know, that you can shoot naked people, of course. Yeah, that's a joke, but apparently you can do. So you have 4 cameras here, you have the main sensor, the ultra wide, the optical 3, and this one, right? But overall, you know, this year, people are asking, should we pay the top amount of money? Because usually the price difference really is huge compared from this phone to this phone, and then you just need to ask yourself, do I need to pay for having IP68, for having the ability to wireless charge my phone, the reverse wireless charge, for indeed the very latest camera with the latest camera sensor, you know, with a bigger sensor? Is this all worth? And because I actually was asking these questions, you know, I said, okay, I need to try out for myself, right? And in fact, guys, what I want to do here in this review is going to be a little bit different. And I just want to show you some slides I created, okay? Because I just believe that I can express, you know, my points with the slides a little bit easier. And then I'm just going to show you on the phones, all right? So guys, I wanted to show you guys something on picture, and because, you know, I just think a picture is worth more than words. Those are pictures I took by myself, right? And then I'm going to show you directly also on the phone. So here we have the Glacier Green OnePlus 8, and as you can already see, you know, there is a little change in the shape. And I'm just doing this video because a lot of the YouTubers there, I just have a feeling, didn't really cover this thing, so I want to make sure that you guys know about that. But what we can see, guys, here is that really the screen of the OnePlus 8 is not so curved, right? And that's why I decided to do this picture, because here on this picture you can pretty much see the curvature, because clearly on this picture here you can very easily identify the curvature of the OnePlus 8 Pro, which is pretty much similar to the one we had on the 7 Pro, as to what we have here. And of course here, this alert button is a little bit upper because this phone in general is smaller, right? So this is the first thing I want to show you guys, right? And because people don't understand this sometimes, I just decided to do another one. So, you know, it's just something I drew in PowerPoint, but you can just see here. So really curvature here, small, curvature here, not so small, right? And although this might be a very modern look, I can say that it does feel a little bit strange when you try to look videos in YouTube in landscape mode and try to go back and forth. So sometimes, you know, when using the phone, normally gestures might be easily applied. In this one here, I really prefer to have less curvature. And actually my point is also proven by Samsung, who indeed designed the S20 series to not have this big curvature. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. And then there is this like crevasse thing, guys. I was just joking myself and just saying, okay, I mean, nobody noticed this or what? Nobody was really alerting us? How come? I mean, I've seen so many reviews on the YouTube, and actually nobody was saying a word about that. And of course, then I started to joke by myself and said, listen, I will call this the crevasse gate. Of course, that's a joke. There is no gate about this. In fact, I'm gonna show you on the camera here. You see this line here, by the way? Let me try to focus it. You know, this line here, you know, doesn't appear on the OnePlus 8, right? S2, we have the line here, which is pretty strange, because I was just thinking, what is happening here? And then, I did some reading, and actually some of the folks told me that this actually crevice here is used to kind of like straighten the phone. But to me, this is a little bit strange, because honestly, I mean, why is there? I would prefer to have like a cleaner design. And actually, it is quite annoying. You might not really notice this when it's inside the case, but it's still there, okay? And then, yeah, this is the other thing I want to show you guys. You see how much this camera is protruding here? I would say that the bump is a whole story on its own, but I'm gonna go back to this. Now again, I did a picture, with both phones, just showing and trying to indicate that this phone is actually thicker, okay, but it's normal. We have here the wireless cord used for the charging. This I can understand. But also I have to mention that this phone here, without a case, is 180 grams, and this phone here is almost 200 grams. And when you add the cover, the plastic one, cover itself is another 20 grams. So the OnePlus 8 with the cover is going to be 200 grams, which is pretty much the same weight of the OnePlus 8 Pro without the cover, right? And now guys, I want to show you something else which was really drawing my attention. And this, I mean, everybody's speaking about this, so it's not something new, but just take a look here at this huge camera bump, right? I used to say, and I pretty much stand on my words, that the OnePlus 8 has a better design from the back. I mean, if you see this here, it's all aligned, we have all the cameras, we have the flash, very cleanly designed, and especially with the cases here don't have an opening. The case for the OnePlus 8 Pro apparently has an opening here, because of course you need to make this camera to be visible, which is the photo one, which is kind of okay, but this bump here is really annoying, and I'm just going to prove my point, guys. I'm just going to let the phone here, and a lot of people are doing this, so I'm going to do the same thing here. See, that's not okay. It is really huge, right? And if I take the regular 8, it's not the same. Almost barely noticeable. I'm just gonna try to show you guys. So you see, we almost don't have here a camera bump on the OnePlus 8 and on the OnePlus 8 Pro. Wow, it's indeed a camera bump. But guys, I mean, this has been kind of like all the physical similarities. And there are some things which I pretty much claim the OnePlus 8 Pro to be the better phone for some reasons, right? And I think display is one of these reasons. Simply reason is that display from the OnePlus 8 Pro can go to QHD resolution, and the display from the OnePlus 8 apparently is only FHD. And I just want to show you guys, so if you go to settings, if you go to display, if you go to advanced, all right, you see here in the OnePlus 8, which is in my left hand, you just pretty much have the refresh rate, so you can go from 90 to 60, but in the OnePlus 8 Pro, you have the resolution, so you can go from FHD to QHD plus, all right, and in the refresh rate, we can go from 60 to whooping 120 Hz, which apparently are also not available on this phone. Honestly, my take to this is, when you go from 60 Hz to 90 Hz, we have like the wow effect, and when you go from 90 Hz to 120 Hz effect, I call it like the meh effect. Yeah, I know it's funny, something it's there, but yeah, there is no wow effect. But apparently, this phone has the better display, all right? Front camera is pretty much about the same, and yeah, of course, wireless charging. And one actually of the biggest things that pretty much exists on this phone here is this new camera sensor. What do we have here, of course, on the back is the new camera. So we have 4 cameras compared to 3, we have really optical zoom 3x, and then of course here we have a bigger sensor, right? So I still will need to test the photo quality, but I will tell you, another thing that really makes myself aware when I look these phones is when you take the OnePlus 8 Pro in the hand, you can see here, yes, it's really curved a lot, right? But then also, this kind of like almost removes like the side bezels. So take a look, I mean, this here really looks like a phone from the future, right? If this notch was not there, and maybe they would have again like a motorized camera, it would have been perfect, but then of course maybe you would kind of like lose the IP68 rating. Of course, both phones are really nice phones. Again, same internals, 5G if you're having 5G, the Snapdragon 865, so I would say about the same. Here we have a little bit faster RAM, so I think here the DDR is a little bit faster. UFS, I think it's about the same. I think the UFS is 3021. Anyway, I don't want to really go into spec hunting, right? All day battery here, I think 4500, here 4300, something like that. So this phone will give you an all day battery for sure, 8-9 hours screen on time. This one probably about the same. If you're using it to QHD and 120 Hz, I still need to test it, but probably still again 4500 is gonna be pretty much about the same. And I think, guys, honestly, if somebody will ask advice, which phone should you get, I would say either are good. If you don't really need wireless charging, you can live without the IP68, I will even recommend to go with the smaller one. You know, if you're a big fan of a smaller form factor, then you don't have here options. It's just this phone. If you're okay with wearing like a heavy phone, because this beast, you know, with the case is gonna be 220 grams, 290 grams. If you have a big hand, like I think I have like a big hand, like regular size, but probably big, probably can go with that one. If you want to be on the hype train and get all the latest feature, for example, if you go to the display here, we also have the MEMC, which you pretty much don't really get on the OnePlus 8. So this is the so-called motion graphic smoothing. So if you want to get everything, of course, you might want to consider going for the big one. But if you need a quick phone, having everything, decent camera, don't need the wireless charging, and most importantly, if you want to have a phone that you can operate almost with one hand, this one is the go for you. All right, there's also another thing. This here is the 8 GB of RAM, 128. This here is again 128, but only the black color. So apparently this nice glacial green color only is applicable here when you buy 12 GB of RAM and 256 storage, which I don't think it's fair. A little bit like what Apple is doing. Honestly, both phones are great. You know, if you ask me a very simple question, guys, should you pay the differences for all these extras that the 8 Pro has compared to the regular 8? I would say no. I don't think that all these extras available on the OnePlus 8 Pro really are worth the price difference, the gap. I think it's not worth it. But if you can afford it, this will be the better phone. This will kind of also conserve your investment, and maybe in 1 year you sell it, you're gonna get better money for this phone when you go on the second market. That's also one of the reasons I am selling my OnePlus 8 and I'm taking the OnePlus 8 Pro, and I really cross my finger to not have any errors with the screen asset, because you know there is a chance sometimes with the screen of the OnePlus 8 Pro you're gonna get faulty batch, and then you're gonna get all these green lines hitting. This doesn't end up quite well. Internet is full of things like that. But beyond that one, guys, I will think that you are not going to do a mistake if you buy the OnePlus 8 or the OnePlus 8 Pro.